Right, hello, welcome in. I'm TheCornishKnight. This is Bula. We paint Warhammer and do other shenanigans.
Yes, hello.
And talk about things.
Yes.
I will be painting Death Corp of Krieg Cavalry because I hate myself. And Bula is going to be painting his
Firewarriors. These boys. So I'm going to paint as many of these as I can get on with today. Right, so you go get your paint water and I will make a beginning. So I'm in paint position right now. So camera needs to spin towards. I've got a new overlay, everyone. So I'm just moving my camera on my my stream, so it looks at me. There you go. Aha. But this is the camera that the Cornish can see. Looking at my fat belly on my big desk. My lovely big desk. With a mug and everything. Right, so. I could probably do with a light here, couldn't I? An extra light, because the sun will go out eventually. I think I need some sort of light. Sort of light source. It's peeking over my monitor.
White source peeking over your monitor? What are you doing with your PC when no one's looking?
Oh, there you go. Okay. That camera is obviously semi-connected to the light source. Might actually attach it to the light source. So, therefore, it will be a little bit more stable. A little bit closer. And that's kind of what I wanted to avoid, but that's fine. Anyway, we have a light source poking over the monitor, so you guys can see more. Lovely stuff. Right.
Hey.
Let's begin. Let's begin the painting. Big fat brush. Get us started.
I did a little bit of prep work before stream this week.
Oh, nice.
Which was, I painted the horses.
You painted the horses?
Yeah. I was still going to do the dude on top.
Yeah, okay.
But it was more the, I didn't have a pot to make the mix of the wash that I combined.
Okay.
To put in, so it's just sat on this little plastic tray that I've been using as my wet palette. So in order to not, and I'm like, mixing this has used like almost like half of my Lamia medium.
Blimey.
So I was more of a, I kind of need to get this done.
Yeah.
Before it dries and goes solid and is unusable. So I just sat and sort of blitzed out Mournfang for the horses, then Sentry Dust, and then that wash over the top.
So yeah.
So
awesome top work.
Yeah, so I've done 4 of them. The other 5 horses need to have their riders glued on before I undercoat them.
Yeah. Well, all I did was buy more plastic, and I primed my my Firewarriors, and that's all I've done in prep.
You bought Shadow Sun, and what else did you buy?
I bought a Codex. I bought Shadow Sun. I don't know if you. Well, I've got 2 extra combat patrols, so I don't know if I mentioned them last time. So yeah, I've got a lot of grey plastic now.
Yeah.
My pile of shame is significant.
Mine is the rest of this Krieg box, which after the cavalry is a artillery piece, which I'm saving for last.
Okay.
And an 11th dude on horseback.
Okay.
But he's like the Krieg special character who has names and special rules and whatnot.
Ooh. Horseman.
So he's a
Horseman Derek, the Bold.
Lord Marshal Dreer, I believe his name is.
That's a very dreary name. Way.
Really? Oh, it's the Krieg. What do you expect?
Through that.
I don't want to go over this with a shanty, do I? No, I want Ironrack.
I'm basically going to be base coating the entire model in XV88. I know that a lot of it's going to go black, and some of it's going to go red and white, but I'm just, for the sake of argument at the moment, just going to base coat it in brown. Most of the model's going to be that. Lovely stuff. Anyway, I'm sorry to hear about you not getting the job, but how's your week been other than that? How's your 2 weeks been, actually? Because we haven't done this in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, stressful government paperwork and health-related paperwork and other shenanigans, so...
Yeah. Universal Credit trying to take it away.
Well, just trying to get it, so they keep asking me for random gubbins, and I'm like...
Yeah. Their job is to make it as painful as possible for people to claim benefits. That is their entire job.
I know. I've got a question for you.
Go on.
How long have you been living in your property?
At least 8 years.
Have you kept any one of your bills going back 8 years?
I mean, I've kept them all. Why?
No.
I keep them in a drawer, so they're there if I need them. I'm one of these weirdos who like will never throw anything away that's addressed to me because it's got my name on it.
So I'm being asked by the DWP to ask for X, Y, and Z, and the problem that I have is that I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh, okay.
Like, they're asking me for like proof of my expenses, particularly to do with housing.
Okay. How far back are they going? Because technically they can't ask you for any to keep anything past 6 months.
Oh, they want stuff dating all the way back to 2014 when I first moved in here.
Yeah, no, you can tell them that's not a reasonable request because I think that there is some legislation about basically saying that it is not reasonable to request paperwork older than 6 months old. Like when I was getting a mortgage, they wanted like my last. I think they wanted my last 6 pay slips to so I can prove that I made enough to afford the house. And I asked them if they wanted me to go back any further, and they're, oh no, don't worry about that. We can't ask you to go any further back. So yeah.
But the thing is that you are working and were working at the time.
Yeah.
And not being a fucking lech on society, apparently. So
I mean, that's not exactly the words that we would put it here, I don't think.
No, but it's how the government treats you.
Yeah, unfortunately they do have to. Yeah. Under the whole blue Labour nonsense. They basically Tory 2 electric boogaloo. I'll be arsed with the blue Labour. As long as blue Labour's in charge of Labour, I am not voting Labour.
I don't have a choice because my other option is Conservative, is Tory, who's proven to be a massive bellend.
I mean, haven't the Greens done quite well in your sort of area? I think they.
Nope.
Are they not? When I say your sort of, yeah, when I say your sort of area, I mean down south on the coast. I know that they do very well in places like Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton's a bit of a stronghold for the Greens.
Yeah, that's who I vote for. It doesn't matter if they've got a hope in hell of getting in. The more people who just vote the way they want to vote, the better chance we've got of the more more minimal parties getting some representation. Also, we need some proportion. We need PR in this country. Mm. We definitely need that.
You know what I also think?
Go on.
I think we should make general election days national holidays.
That would be nice.
So there's no reason for you to go to. So like a lot of the a lot of the sort of apathy that I see is, oh, I'm so tired after work. I'm like, that's fine and all, but and I get that and I understand that. You know, I deal with chronic illness, I deal with a different level of tiredness.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't as long you don't have more to do in your life. Yeah, but I also deal with like 8 chronic conditions, so go fuck it.
Oh, I'm not saying nothing. The last couple of days I haven't streamed because I have literally passed out when I got home.
I mean, yeah, like that's fair. Like, if you're having a tough day at work, then you're having a tough day at work. You know, there's nothing that can sort of resolve that. It's more the like trying to like just thinking of ways to address the voter apathy issue. Is why I'm.
I mean, I think apathy.
It was something that.
But for me, apathy comes from a lack of hope.
Yeah.
Because at the moment I don't have any hope in any party at the moment, because I don't think the Greens are going to get in. The Lib Dems aren't saying enough things about the things that matter to me, i.e., you know, the Iranian issue and climate change. I mean, climate change is the one thing the Greens, you know, can definitely do. But yeah, we need some sort of end to that genocide. And at the moment, no party other than the Greens have committed to.
Oh right, okay. You said Iranian issue, and I was like, excuse me.
Not actually. What issue?
I mean Israel.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, it's Israeli.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of the Middle Eastern countries, beginning with I. But yeah, we need to deal with that, the Israeli issue. At the moment, it's not looking like there's going to be a peaceful resolution to that.
No, that won't be.
But they've been going ahead with their genocide for decades, and it's just like no one stood up to them yet, and now all of a sudden, it's, you know, the genocide's nearly complete, and everyone's like, oh no, we don't agree with this. Well, where was this opinion 40 years ago when the genocide fucking started?
Yeah. It's a bit of a mad one, ain't it? Why am I holding this basher when I've got this fucking holder thing?
Oh yeah, I've got a holder, but I'm swapping between models, so I'm just I'm holding them myself.
So am I.
My holder's also on the other side of the room, which is one of the main reasons why I haven't got up and got it. But cannot be asked. I'm lazy. Very lazy.
Don't fucking do that. So I better be a bit vicious with this toy.
Yeah. Fucking you hear that in the background?
I heard a very loud squeak.
It's more robbery against teeth at the moment. It's kind of grim to listen to. Like squeak. Yeah, it's like, yeah, rubber grinding against teeth. Grim.
I'll tell you what though, it's still not in my top 10 of noises I don't want to hear on a regular basis.
Okay. Should we go through them? Number 1!
Number 1, I'm actually already feeling sick thinking about this one, but I'm going to say it.
Go on.
You know when you have a pimple and you pop it and you feel the pop? Yeah?
I don't think I've popped a pimple in recent memory.
Okay. Well, like, do you remember did you get, like, acne as a teenager?
Not particularly, no.
Fucking Mr. Perfect Skin over here, Jesus
No,
Christ.
I'm not perfect skin. I had fucking eczema. I bled too much to get acne.
Yeah. So I'm an unfortunate bastard in which I have both eczema and acne.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So what, you've never woken up in the morning, looked at the bathroom mirror and gone, oh, that's a whitehead, that's a
I mean,
a pimple.
I've had a couple of like little spots that I have popped, but nothing where I could feel it afterwards.
Yeah, well, this probably also ties into my hydradenitis and my pyoderma and apparently my liver.
Okay.
Supposedly as well. But yeah, but you know when you see like those like spots that have got like a red, that are like red on the outside and they've got a white head in the middle.
Yeah.
And some of them is like so ready to go that just the slightest amount of pressure makes them pop.
Ugh. Nice.
Yeah. It's when I see videos of those that just randomly turn up in my fucking feed.
Oh no.
Anywhere. And because it's ASMR video, whatever fucking weirdo likes those.
I need to...
So you can hear it fucking go, and I'm like, no.
I need to find.
And then I'm off to the bathroom to throw up.
Yeah, I need to find a Firewarrior as a reference. Give me a sec.
Oh. You good?
I know exactly where it is. I'm going to use this guy, who is my fire blade. Let me see if I can get that focused in. Yes, my fire blade. With a bit of dust on him. And a dog hair. Up to him there. Lovely. He's been on the shelf for a while. He didn't make it to the battle where I got absolutely mauled, and just as well, to be fair. He would have died horribly. I'm quite happy with how that guy turned out. Quite good.
Nice.
Yeah, very dusty, but good. If I can get rid of some of this dust, actually. I could do with tidying this guy up, I think. I've got a second Fireblade happening, so... I've got him in the box set I got from Monkey King. Second Ghost Kill, yes.
Ooh, very nice.
Okay. So, I'm going to go for these 3 to start with. That's my plan. 3 to start with, and then I will crack on with others later. Where's my Abaddon Black? It's Corvus Black. Close, but no cigar. There it is. Abaddon. This paint pot feels like it might be... Yes, there's a big ring in the middle there. I need to dig that out somehow. I don't want to use my clippers anymore. I need to find like an actual nice thin piece of metal just to dig them out. Oh well, at the moment, let's just mix, and then I'll get a blob.
It's not the funniest thing about Abaddon was it's only been in like, I say recent, like within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Really. That there's sort of been a point to the Black Crusades that he launches.
Yeah.
Because beforehand it wasn't really a point, at least none that I could discern, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
As to what he was doing. It's like, I'm going to try and take Terra and fail every time. That's why he's always been known as... it was like... Thayladon? Something along those lines. Like, a weird combo of Thale and Abaddon every single... as a insult. And of course, the one time he's like sort of vaguely successful is the one time he blows up. Is the one time he blows up Cadia, and it's like, well, what do you expect? Like, truth be told, that's been the one planet that's been able to successfully resist him over and over again. You know, of course he. And the great thing about it is that he didn't intend to do it. He just fucking happened. He didn't intend to throw the Blackstone Fortress at Cadia's planetary service. It just sort of happened. Which is funny in a tragic sort of way.
Yeah.
Being a guardsman player. But yeah, like I guess a part of this is because I came into Warhammer 40k in 4th edition. A part of me still looks at him like, I know his whole shtick now is like, oh, I will be better than my Gene father Horus.
Yeah.
You know, I will be the one that takes terror. I will be the one that kills the Emperor. And yada yada yada. And so they're like, I mean, this is the closest you've got, and it took 2 attempts for this crusade.
Yeah.
So the crusade that broke Cadia was arguably the 14th Black Crusade. But it wasn't. It was the 13th Crusade Part 2.
Oh, duh.
Because the way that... so... Cadia fell because that was it was an overall chaos win during a series of narrative grand tournaments.
Yeah.
13th Crusade Part 1, which GW doesn't talk about, was such an overwhelming disaster for chaos that they just kind of didn't write anything about it. So they released a few codexes for Chaos Forces and then did, oh yeah, this is a part of the Grand Narrative campaign. You know, don't worry about the other one that we just ran like 3 years ago. Shut up. And with that one was a Chaos victory.
Yeah.
And thus Cadia fell. Which I think is hilarious.
Oh man. If I had more time, I would definitely read more about the lore of this game, but just don't have the time anymore. People keep saying like read audiobooks or listen to audiobooks, but I cannot do it. I need to do the voices myself because every time the audiobook readers do get the voices wrong. In my head, I know exactly what the people sound like.
Yeah. Have you read any of the Gold's Ghost books?
Yes, I have many of them. I stopped when first book of the 3rd omnibus, I think it was, where basically it's a rerun. It's basically a retread of the tank one. But instead of tanks, it's airships, and it's basically the exact same story. And I was like, no, I'm out.
I don't think I got that far because I've got the first 6 books, 7 books on the shelf. But I can't get a hold of books 8 onwards, either as a part of an omnibus or individually.
Okay.
Not without paying fucking out the nose for them at the moment.
I'll reprint them eventually. They're very popular. They're a very popular series.
They are, but like, there are moments where I sort of wish that Black Library was a bit more proactive when it comes to certain things. Like, you know that like Gaunt's Ghosts is always going to sell well.
Yeah.
You know, people build collections out of the various different edition covers that Gaunt's Ghosts have, right?
Yeah.
It's the reason why me looking for book 8, I think it was. So the Gaunt's Ghost books that I've got the red spine rather than like a continuation of the artwork that was on the front of the book.
Yeah, sorry, I really do need a Fire Warrior because I want to paint them consistent. The only problem is my Fire Warriors are underneath a big pile of shit.
Go grab one.
Well, they're right next to me, so going anywhere, I'm just a pile from.
So yeah, so I had a look, tried like use book websites and stuff like that, and some people were wanting like 50 quid for them, and I'm not paying 50 quid for a book that costs like less than a tenner.
Okay, this is my airwalk box that I use to transport my army. Oh, good. I was correct. At least I can use them as a reference now. At least I was correct, and I knew sort of how I was supposed to paint these. The leggings are black.
There we go, crisis averted.
Yes.
So yeah. Apparently, in the Gaunt's Ghosts audiobook,
Oh yeah.
particularly the first couple of books, where they're still the majority, Tanith or Tainth.
Tanith, first and only.
Yeah. When they're still comprised when they're still comprised of Tanith men. They got Scottish accents. They play bagpipes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the Tanith. I mean, that is basically what they're portrayed as. They're space Scottish.
Yeah. Still somehow more interesting than Space Vietnam.
Yeah. Like my favorite character in that, I think, is probably McCall.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Either that or Mad Larkin. And yes, I would attempt to do the voices I have in my head for you, but no. That's going to end in a lot of insulted Scotsmen. I'm getting too precious for this. I need to stop worrying about getting the paint, the colouring like perfect first time.
Yeah.
I'm just basically painting by numbers at the moment.
Sometimes that's what you need to do.
You know, just basically claiming the colours, putting them where they need to be.
Oh, excuse me.
Your excuse.
I did have a thought just before I started assembling these.
Oh, yeah.
So I can model them. They're these Kree cavalry with holding lances,
Nice.
or las carbines,
Okay.
or power swords.
Nice.
Yeah, the new Krieg Death Riders, all of them can have power. Bear in mind, they can use any one of these weapons at any point.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to, I could load them up with 10 power sabers and still be able to use their lances.
Damn.
It's not an either-or thing. It's, like each rider is equipped with grenades, las carbine, power saber, hunting lance.
Very nice.
And I was sort of tempted just to sort of break up the blue a little bit. To do a bit more of a British World War One or Crimean War look to them. But have them all equipped with power swords, so they look a little bit more like the Charge of the Light Brigade.
Very nice. Is this the first paint club since I got thoroughly thrashed?
I don't remember.
I think it might be. I think it is. Yeah. So, as I mentioned it in Paint Club, in the Discord, but yeah, I had my first game of Warhammer since 4th edition a few weeks ago, and my tower got mercilessly ripped apart by some orcs. Like, just to tell you like how badly I was rolling, the orcs were out shooting me.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were out dackering me. I made 2 fundamental blunders. Hey, as they should, dirty cumin. How's it going, Rich? Welcome in. How are you doing?
Hey, dude. How you doing?
So I made 2 fundamental errors. The first was I played them as they were designed back when they were released. The Tau were designed to not go anywhere near the enemy and shoot from the back of the map. And you were supposed to have Crute for the melee, but now they've done some balancing, and quite a lot of the Tau are actually quite good at close range now. So yeah,
Close range shooting or close combat? There's a difference.
both. The ghost kills so basically I put everything right at the back of the map. I split my army so that like there was basically 3 lanes mainly, and I had like some of my force looking, you know, in the various lanes. The only thing I didn't spawn right at the back was my stealth suits, which you can deploy, you know, anywhere on the battlefield basically. So they got deployed on one of the capture points. And yeah, everything else was right at the back. That was a bad mistake. Not bad. Things have calmed down now. Just waiting for the inevitable. We can't keep the shop open now that the disposable ban is in full effect. Oh shit! I didn't even know that was a thing. So you can't sell disposable vapes anymore. Damn.
Nope.
Well, to be honest, I don't necessarily disagree with that decision personally, but yeah, obviously your shop's going to be absolutely destroyed by that. I suppose you guys have got to pivot to the reusable ones and the liquids.
It should be using reusable ones anyway. Like if you think you only pick up a disposable vape every what you think is every now and then, but you're picking one up like every day or every other day, then just buy a fucking reusable one.
You're running low on stock. Well, there you go. If you're running low on stock, you're doing something right. You're selling. That's awesome. I'm starting to think I'm going to just focus on one model at a time now. That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not batch painting anymore.
Now, I was going to do these 3 as a bunch, but I'm just thinking, I managed to get all of the black on this model done. Might as well just do the rest of this model. So, yeah, in the battle. So, I found out to my dismay that the Ghost Keels cannot shoot very far. I think their weapons are 12-inch range.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Ghost Keel's weapon is this thing here is essentially the best fucking melter gun you're ever gonna see in your life. It's essentially like much better than a big multi-melter thing. It just it rips ass. And these 2, the fusion blasters there, there's a twin-linked fusion blaster basically, and that is also good at. So this thing here is a tank-killing machine. But it has to get close. So the Tau, the Tyrannid, not the Tyranids, the Orcs I was playing against, they had a Morkanaut.
Oh.
Yeah. The second problem I had was I tried to kill the Morkanaut, so I fired everything at it, and that was a big mistake.
Was the Morkanaut their distraction card effects?
No, if I'd have killed it, if I'd have rolled better, it would have been very useful, and I'd have killed basically half the force if I'd have killed it in the first couple of rounds. This thing here, this gun here, that looks very impressive and big. Against tanks, not so much. Not so much.
That is, what's that model again?
That's the Riptide. So the Riptide fired at the Morkanaut, and basically that thing bounced off.
Yes, I would like my cursor back, please. What the fuck? There we go.
Yeah.
I literally moved over to click on something on Firefox. I'm like, I can see that the tab is highlighted, but I'm not seeing the cursor. That's not cool.
No, cool. Yeah, so
you ripped. That was the Riptide you just showed me, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Riptide here, and this gun here is like the something massive gun of death thing. It's very nice. It did do good things in the third turn when I realized what I had to do with it, but by that point it was way too late, and I'd lost too much. So yeah. Yeah, so this gun here is very good at destroying units, infantry. My stealth squad got ripped apart by by basically a squad of knobs that came out, and yeah, they came out of the Morkanaut and just like ganked them. They had a war boss with them. This Riptide got his sweet vengeance though, on turn 3. First thing in turn 3, I fire this bad boy right into the back of those fucking knobs. Wiped out almost the entire squad. There was like 2 knobs and the war boss left. This thing took out 8 on its own with that gun. It was very stupid.
So I think you were running that as a ion accelerator?
Very likely, yes. I think it fires like a shitload of times.
So there's the heavy burst cannon, which is 36-inch range, hitting on... Wait, was this 10th edition or 4th edition you're playing?
10th.
10th, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the heavy burst cannon has 12 attacks,
yes,
hits on 4s, strength 6, AP -1, damage 2.
Yeah.
The ion accelerator, excuse me, has two profiles.
Okay.
One is standard and overcharge. Overcharge gives you an extra AP and extra damage, but if you roll a 1, you suffer mortal wounds.
Okay. Anyway,
So for 3 mortal wounds, that's yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I blasted the bastards in the back and took out the entire fucking squad basically, and that felt good. But other than that, it was way too late. Because I had Farsight with a group of crisis suits, and it was really awesome. The crisis suits with the shield drone were incredibly tanky bodyguards. They were incredibly tanky. The only problem with crisis suits is, again, their weapons are so short ranged. You need to get them in close.
Yeah, okay. Like, so the plasma rifles are pretty... Plasma rifles are pretty fucking beastie.
Yeah.
Sure, 18-inch range, which isn't great. Strength 8, AP -3, damage 3.
Yeah, if you can get them...
That kills Terminators.
Yeah, exactly. If you can get them in range, it's great. But the crisis suits all died before they got into range, and then Farsight couldn't get in range to use his sword, so... It was very sad. Oh. Very sad. So I will be changing how I lay my army out next time. And I will get in range. I will. I think I was also only counting the crisis suits as having 2 weapons when they've got 3 each. So, oh, the other good thing about Tau, I found out, and it works really well for my army. The Morkanaut got into melee with my Riptide, and I was like, I shoot him, and the opponent's like, no, you can't shoot in melee range. Like, all of my walkers, the mechs, they count as vehicles. Vehicles can shoot in melee. So there you go.
Yeah, they can.
Yes. So he was expected to have a very easy time with me just fisting gently against his mech, and I just like put the I put the fucking blaster against the hull of the Morkanaut and just go. Boom. It didn't do that much. I think I got 2 or 3 wounds out of him, but.
Woolrich says, I hope opinion space is seriously long-winded based on the fact the government is more interested in taxing shit over than actually doing things right. Like any government.
Yeah.
So yeah. I had a moment like that a little while ago. I was playing against the French Tyranids. And there is... So... Tyranids having named characters is always a little bit weird to me.
Yeah.
Because like that sort of defeats their whole objective. Like they're a hive mind; they don't have individuals.
Yeah. Well, I think the idea is you've got to imagine that it's the Tyranids aren't naming their guys. It's the Imperium. It's the Imperium spotting a very fancy looking Tyranid going, ooh, I'm going to give that one a name. Old One Eye. There you go. He's only got one eye. That's what I'm going to call him. So yeah, they're not. So, that's not their name necessarily. They don't think of themselves as that, but that's what the Imperium have named those beasts.
Absolutely. So, funny enough, this friend was running Old One Eye.
Oh, nice. That's the only named one I know, to be fair.
The only one really worth remembering. But Old One Eye can lead a squad of Carnifexes.
Oh, nice.
Which is terrifying in its own right.
Yeah.
I had a couple of Lehman Russes because you can't run Lehman Russes in squads anymore. Which, to be fair,
and you can't.
I understand. No.
Oh, that's
in.
Yeah, as hell.
In 9th edition, you could.
Oh,
because what it was is that, like with 10th edition, unless it's battle line or an epic hero or a dedicated transport, you can only run 3 of them. But in 9th edition, they had this rule, but you could take Lehman Russes in squads between 1 and 3.
You see, this is why this is why I was going to get all of the Lehman Russes in the world.
Well, here's the thing. So you could run 1 to 3 Lehman Russ battle tanks, and then another squad of 1 to 3 Lehman Russ battle tanks.
Yeah.
And then a third squad of 1 to 3 Lehman Russ battle tanks.
I was going to have 9 Lehman Russes.
Yeah, exactly. But you couldn't run a 4th Lehman Russ battle tank squad.
No.
However, you could then pivot and go, cool, I've now got 3 squads of 3 Lehman Russ Vanquishers.
Indeed. Oh, does that mean you can't have Bane Blades in squads of 3 anymore?
I don't think Bane Blades were ever in squads of 3.
Oh.
Because they're super heavy.
Oh.
In Epic you can, because you get super heavy companies.
Nice.
But that's Epic. That's a whole different game.
The fun zone.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so I think I ended up borrowing a friend's Lehman Russ just to sort of cover the points list that I'd built.
Yeah.
So I had a Lehman Russ Tank Commander and 3 other Lehman Russes. And this one Lehman Russ was sat directly in front of Old One Eye and his bodyguard unit, and was just hammering away at these units. Right, this chunky Tyranid squad.
The big boys.
Yeah. And just kept going at it and going at it and going at it, and eventually they ended up in melee. And this little Lehman Russ that could was tied up in melee for 4 turns.
Oh, give that man a medal.
We ended the game, and the Lehman Russ was still alive.
Oh, you've got to imagine probably not for much longer, but you know, still great.
Yeah, he was. He was at that point where he was on -1 to hit because he'd taken so much damage.
Oh.
But he was still fucking hanging in there.
Yeah.
Still trying to do it. You know?
Lehman Russ died doing what he loved. Shooting Tyranids in the face.
Yeah. He did really well. I'm really proud of him. And then I think the next game I played was Emperor's Children and Death Guard versus Custodes and Imperial Guard.
Oh dear! Don't say Death Guard in the Discord. The guy who beat me has got my brain is failing to recall words. PTSD. Got PTSD after doing a Death Guard fight. Apparently, orcs don't do well against Death Guard.
Death Guard are a weird one. Well, one, they've just had their new codex release, so they're a little bit in a strange place at the moment.
Okay.
Because, like, yes, they're really powerful because they just had a codex release, but also at the same time, like, you know they're going to be nerfed.
Yeah. You okay?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the most I've talked today, so my voice is, like, struggling to keep up.
That's fair. Oh, all I've done is talk today. I've just been on the phone pretty much constantly. Been quite annoying.
So we have a voice that's struggling because of underuse and a voice that's struggling because of overuse. This is going to be great to listen to.
We're
going to sound like Tom fucking Waits by the end of this.
My voice isn't necessarily struggling. It's just my brain. It's been overused today. It needs a rest.
A better way to rest your brain than paint Warhammer.
Well, yeah, exactly. Oh, I made some very nice food yesterday. I batch cooked a shitload of green curry, Thai green curry, and nice. It was very nice. I like fish in my green curries, so I made a fish curry, and I like the way I did it. The fish sort of broke down into the sauce. So you had like little chunks of fish, but it also basically the curry was basically extremely fishy. It was good. Like not fishy in a bad way, fishy in a good way.
See, I've been making curries in my slow cooker recently, and I know fish won't survive being in the slow cooker.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to survive. It just needs to permeate and.
The thing is that I don't think you can cook fish low and slow like you can with like beef or chicken. I'll have a look, but I think that the general rule of thumb is if you don't know if it will survive, don't put it in when it comes to putting stuff in the slow cooker.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I never used to do chicken in the slow cooker, and then I found out that you could.
I mean,
and I have been doing chicken.
If you put it in the slow cooker and it comes out cooked, technically it survived. Doesn't matter what condition it came out in. As long as it's cooked and it's edible, it's delicious.
Yeah, but it's the whole bacteria in food situation. Because beef, you can, if it's prepared right, you can eat raw, but you can't eat raw chicken.
Okay.
Well, okay, you can eat raw chicken. You're a fucking idiot. But, you know.
Mate, I've been like binging. I've been binging MasterChef, and someone made a ceviche of pork, which is basically it's raw pork, but like it's infected with like an acidic sort of marinade, essentially. And I think that technically cooks, but it's like, yeah, I'm just like, I would not risk that. I don't want tapeworms.
Same with beef. You can do the same with beef.
Yeah, you can do ceviches on most stuff, including fish, actually.
Although, I mean, technically there's an argument for saying, oh, you can cook any food in any way. I mean, yes, but is it going to give you food poisoning if you do, though? That's the other thing.
I think chicken is definitely something you need to cook the fuck out.
Well, yeah, it's that whole, like, you can do it, but should you? Is also the other question. It's like my PC telling me, oh, here's this new game that you can run on Ultra. And it's like, yeah, but I'm getting 5 frames. So, yes, I can run it on Ultra. Doesn't mean I should.
Okay.
I was contemplating that, making a YouTube series at one point. Back when I was under my old online moniker.
Okay.
Was, will it run? I have a 1060 and like a HDD and like not a very good PC. The Steam specs say I can run this. Load up the game. No, I can't run this.
Yeah, that the end of my last computer's life was a nightmare. Doom Eternal running on that thing was something to behold. I'm just gutted that happened before I gained like at least a moderate following on Twitch, because it would have been very funny for people to watch that shit. It's all on my YouTube if anyone wants to go and see a computer in meltdown mode when it tries to run Doom Eternal for the first time. And the game just kept getting, like, acquiring more and more glitches as it went on. And I refused to verify the files because it was just entertaining me to no end. Just what new thing can go wrong in this game? But the last boss, the graphical glitches were so bad, I couldn't tell what was going on half the time. It was and I think that the last level leading up to the final boss, there's a chamber where you have to like kill like 3 or 4 waves of like the hardest as fuck demons, and the game crashed at least 9 times going through that room. The last time it crashed was right at the end. I had completed it.
Oh,
I completed it, and it basically it like did the dialogue for, you know, no, you've got to move on to the next area, and the game just went. I was like, no, please have saved. It didn't save.
Oh dear.
I have my head in my hands, just like, oh my god, I can't believe it. So, yeah.
See, that's more entertaining than what like challenge runners do in like Elden Ring and Dark Souls, you know.
Yeah, it was fun. It was very funny to do. I would never do that sort of thing again on that game. Probably will never play Doom Eternal again either. Just because I've had my fill. I'll play Doom 2016 again one day.
I should probably get back and give Alien Isolation another go.
I hear that game is good.
It is good. I'll give you a word of advice if you're ever going to go and play it, though.
Okay.
Don't overuse the flamethrower.
Okay.
it's great that you have it. It's great that you basically got a no fuck off thing.
Yeah.
For the
xenomorph.
alien, for the xenomorph. But it turns out there's a consequence for using it too much.
Does the alien start to get used to the flamethrower?
Nope, it just turns up more often.
Oh, okay.
Therefore, expecting you, forcing you to either to hide more, or to burn more of your fuel for the flamethrower.
Nice.
Yep, I learned that the hard way.
Oh dear.
Because it was for like a Halloween thing that I was doing. Which I should be paint you grey before I do anything else. I thought I've got a couple of scary games. I'm not a scary game player. I find them too intense and it spikes my anxiety. But because it's Halloween, I'll do it. Or like the week of Halloween more than anything.
Yeah, I do Halloween once a year as well. I just I tend not to like the scary games because I don't tend to find them scary at all. They tend to be games that lean into the horror too much. Tend to just be bad games, but because they're scary, people give them a fucking pass. You know, I find that with Phasmo. People who like bum off Phasmophobia, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I tried to play it once. It was a mess. It was a mess. I couldn't be arsed with it. I found it very boring and janky.
I think that's sort of a part of the jankiness. I think is a part of the sort of the charm.
I mean, I don't mind a bit of jank, you know. I've played plenty of jank games, but I mean that's basically exclusively what I play. I played Gary's mod for, but there's a limit. Like it needs to be functional and janky, whereas Phasmo just didn't. It just didn't feel functional ever. You get what I mean?
I don't think it ever has, to be honest.
No. So yeah, I'm gonna get some Phasmo people coming to annoy me now. I also know that there's a fan of the next game I'm gonna mention in chat. Sorry, Rich. Project Zomboid was a fucking mess. I could not get into that game. I just couldn't. I couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. The menus were just incomprehensible nonsense. I didn't know. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. There was an attempt at tutorializing it, but fuck me. It was the most long-winded shit. And I gave up.
I find, for me, Project Zomboid is a multiplayer game.
Right, okay.
Just sort of wandering about doing stuff by yourself. I don't think works all that much.
I can agree with that because I basically died a bunch of times, couldn't really figure out how I was gonna survive. Like there are situations where basically you don't have a hope in hell. If you spawn in a bad place with no loot around you, you're dead. You might as well give up. Or just kill yourself right there and then. Just absolute bullshit. Is there any red on these models? Oh yes, there is. There's a little knee pad thing that I did for flavour. Because I thought there wasn't enough red.
So me and a couple of friends, we sort of rotate through games. At the moment, we're waiting for the multiplayer update to Project Zomboid to drop.
Okay.
Because at the moment it's in build 42, but it's unstable, so the multiplayer won't work, or there'll be more bugs and glitches than we're prepared to deal with.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm just going to literally run to the other side of the room and come back. I need to turn my big light on.
No worries. And he's back.
Carry on.
Yeah. So we sort of rotate through games. So at the moment we're doing Helldivers.
Yeah, boo, boo.
Then, but before that we did Held It Loose.
Can't comment on that one. Not played it. I do own it
also
though.
Also known as PTSD Simulator.
Yeah, I do own it. In fact, I did install it at one point. I just never actually. I didn't actually turn it on because I didn't have anyone to play with.
A game can fill an evening. That's sort of my main, not issue, but like, if you play like an hour and a half long match, and it's like it's a bad match. Like there's like, you might win, but there's just like, that was a fucking difficult fight. That was not fun.
Yeah.
It sort of puts a little bit of a dampener on the rest of the evening. At least it does for me, not for everybody.
To be fair, I think that's a lot of multiplayer games end up doing that to people, and I think I suppose that though for those are the best games though. Games that actually have an impact on you. They're the ones you care about. If you don't care about something, why are you playing it? In my mind, like when I used to play like Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six Siege a bunch, I would get genuinely fucking mad if my team wasn't up to snuff. But that's because I gave a shit, and I think that if a game doesn't make you do that, what's the fucking point? I find that like Overwatch and stuff, that those sorts of games, they're just, I don't know, in an attempt to make a game where no one can possibly feel bad, if you know what I mean. So like, if you're doing terrible, it gives you like a, I don't know how to describe it, but basically games that never feel too bad. It doesn't matter how badly you're doing, it will never punish you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Hey
feel,
Malik, how you doing?
Hey Malik, welcome in. Still painting those dirty horses, I see.
Yeah. I had to batch paint the layer before this lighter one, because I realized I'd made a wash mix, and it was just going to dry in the palette, and considering it used like a good third of my Lamia medium, I thought, well, I better paint all of them and use this wash mix that I've made before it dries. So yeah.
So
I will be right back because I desperately need the bathroom. I'll be right back.
No worries. I will put my big camera on then. There you go. I now know why I had the camera that low down in the list. It's now covering the chat window slightly. Damn. I can fix this. I can. For the large camera, where is that fucking frame? I think that's it there. I need that frame to go up here. Like that. There you go. Sweet. Oops. Right, there you go. Right, what was I doing? I was cleaning a brush. That's what I was doing. Got a new desk, everyone. Look how big the desk is. It's massive. I can have my paints. I can have my models. Although the brushes are slightly covering where the models are hidden. I can have everything. Great. Okay, so next. White. Need the white bit. How are you doing anyway, Malik? You have to use separate desk. I just push my my keyboard backwards. Now I've got a massive desk. I can do that easily. Yeah, the point I was trying to make basically was like multiplayer games that are designed so that you never feel too bad when you lose. tend to not feel that great when you win, which is why I don't really like them very much. Yeah, I haven't found a multiplayer game that I really like lately. That is, like, when I say multiplayer, I mean like adversal. I think Delta Force is probably the closest thing to good I've found. Like, co-op games and PvE games, there's loads of them. There's loads of good ones out there at the minute. You got Space Marine 2, you got Dark Tide, those are your Warhammer flavour ones. But you got stuff like Ready or Not, which is amazing. You got technically Helldivers too, but I'm boycotting that until Sony allow the game back worldwide. Till they release the game in all of the regions in the world, not just the regions that have access to PS Plus. Yeah, you gave up on that game. Yeah. Like, the second that Sony started its fucking bullshit, I stopped playing. I uninstalled it. And I have...
Hello.
You're right. We're just talking...
Helldivers.
Yeah, we're talking Helldivers. But yeah, I'm not gonna install it again until Sony gives up and allows the game to be purchased in every region in the world, not just the regions that have access to PlayStation Plus. Even though they have technically rescinded the necessity for PlayStation Plus, people who can't get PlayStation Plus still can't play the game, and that is sad. There you go.
I don't know why they haven't put PSN network in, or PSN in more countries. I don't know whether it's a licensing issue or they just don't want to do business there or what.
There will be many reasons, some of which are like the governments in the countries will not let them charge for the service, which is like Xbox Live isn't available in those regions for the same reason. Some countries just don't want Sony to do business there, basically. Like Japan's on a no business list or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So
Japan, no. Japan is not on the no business list. Sony is Japanese.
That's what I meant. Yeah, because if Japan's on the no business list, then Sony will be banned in the country, is what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Jesus.
You've been dabbling with Total War Warhammer. Yeah, Warhammer Total War's not bad. The second one was pretty good. The third one, terrible. I don't know if it...
Really? You didn't like the third one?
I played it when it came out, basically. And it was shit. I'm not into... I don't like time constraints. This is the thing, in strategy games, I don't like time constraints. I'm a turtle. I like to slowly grow. I don't like to have, like... Oh, you didn't make enough progress on this in this whole other map. On the other, basically, where you have to go into the bloody warp and go do battling in there to do stuff. Like it's like secondary objectives. Just give me the main overworld map and let me take that over, please. That's all I want. I'm not interested in any of this Chaos Demon shit. I'll fight Chaos on my own time. I just wanna sit there as my dwarves, beating the shit out of some orcs. That's what I want. They made a game that forces you to play the way they want you to play, exactly, and that's another reason why I don't like XCOM 2. Because that game forces you to play in a very specific way, in a very specific order. Otherwise, eventually, this whatever the Advent Project or whatever it's called basically ends the game, and you're just like, ah, fuck that. You only play XCOM on easy. Yep. I wouldn't mind playing it on medium, but I just don't want this fucking advent clock ticking. I'd rather just, take over the world myself. But yeah, there's other games for that, like Dawn of War, Soulstorm, I think it was. The latest one, that was great. That had a really good overworld map. Dark Descent was pretty good, yeah. Oh, Alien Dark Descent had the same issue. There.
Alien Dark Descent had the same issue to a certain point. It's only after you hit a certain part of the story that you have a time constraint.
I don't mind time constraints sometimes. I very, very specifically don't like it when it's when I'm trying to play a strategy game. There's just something about strategy games and like very strict time constraints that restrict the way you can play that do my head in.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, I'm a very defensive player in a strategy game. I will happily, like in Dawn of War, I will happily spend 3 hours building a base with one way into my base that is covered in turrets and basilisks, Earthshaker cannoning the fuck out of the entrance. I'm very that's me. I love that shit. I'm just gonna paint this. These. I'm gonna paint the camel toes. Oh yeah. Paint them camel toes. Timer are jump scares. If they're used right, they're great. Yeah, I don't mind that. There was a couple of sections in Dead Space which were quite good that were timed. And those did feel genuinely exciting when it's done well. Time constraints are great, but yeah. If you've got a strategy game where you're giving me the illusion of choice, I can research anything I want, but in the background, it basically the game's saying if you don't research everything in the exact right order, you're not going to have enough resources to get to make it to the end of the game. Basically, I don't know. It's obviously it sold well. So it's obviously a me problem. It's obviously an opinion, but I don't know. Wasn't a fan. Okay. Right. Bear has just dropped his ball. Oh shit! There's a bit of XP that needs doing before we get the null out.
Yeah, I do recommend Dark Descent. It's a very different type of strategy game.
Okay.
I thought it was great fun. I didn't quite understand why they went the way that they did with different bits of the story, but it still felt like an Aliens game.
Okay.
Well, it felt more like Aliens 2, the video game.
Okay.
Is what it felt like.
So Aliens, the video game.
Yes.
Oh, that
yeah, Alien Isolation is the first Alien film, a video game, in terms of atmosphere and feel, in my opinion.
Okay.
And Aliens Dark Descent felt like Aliens, the video game.
Aliens. Laurel that's the one where she uses the mech suit, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. I've seen that one. That one was good. I know.
I bought it.
I know that I've seen 1 and 2 because I've seen the head crab thing bursting out the chest, which is 1, and I've seen the mech fight, which is 2.
Oh, well, with John Hurt.
I've no idea.
It's John Hurt. Yeah, the crewman that gets face hugged in Alien is John Hurt.
Okay. You're saying that like I should know the name. I do not know the name. Is he an actor? Is that the name of the actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't know him by name.
The reason why I mentioned that, hey, let me explain. So in Alien, Malak, I was getting there. So there was a parody film called Spaceballs,
which I have not seen, but I must see at some point.
You absolutely should. There's a bit where John Hurt is at a diner and he had ordered this special.
Yeah.
And they basically recreate the scene from Alien where the chestburster comes out of John Hurt's chest. And just as he dies, John Hurt goes, "Not again!" Just collapses.
Oh, nice. Unfollowed, blocked. All right. It came out at a weird time. I'm of the age where I was too young to see it when it came out, and by the time I was interested in seeing it, you couldn't get it anywhere. It's never on telly. You can't. As far as I could tell, you couldn't buy a DVD of it. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I will endeavour to watch it if I can ever find a copy of it, or if it's ever on one of the terrestrial streaming services. Don't talk about age. Yours going up. Oh dear.
Do you have access to Amazon Prime Video?
Yes, I think.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yes, but basically they tried to add a subscription to it when I tried to watch a film. I was like, no. So I've stopped using Amazon Prime for films.
Yeah, so I think when was this, by the way? Was this in the last few years? Yeah, they had a whole court case about it in California, and now Amazon is mandated worldwide to declare that you need to that obviously certain films you can only watch with a subscription on top of Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
But there are still films and TV shows and stuff that you can watch now that don't require an additional subscription.
Okay.
Basically, Amazon got into a massive legal complication about it, and then sort of had to back down. Otherwise, they have to properly pay their tax bill.
Well, they don't want to do that.
Spaceballs is on there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Spaceballs is on there.
Okay. Extra subscription free?
Yeah, included with Prime.
Oh, sweet. In that case, this weekend I will be watching I'll be watching Spaceballs with a few beers.
Yeah, but I want to preface this that this was released in 1987.
I know I've seen all of the trivia on Spaceballs that most of the sets and the stuff are actually from Star Wars, because Lucas basically just, gave them his full blessing, and basically gave them access to pretty much all of his stuff. It's like, yeah, just use our sets, go for it.
Yeah, I just love the fact they got Michael Winslow to play in it as well.
Which one's he? I don't know actor names.
Michael Winslow is an actor famous for the Police Academy films.
Oh, right, okay.
And he's very good at
sound effects. He's a sound effect guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
He's very good at it.
It's as old as
you.
He's
in Spaceballs.
Nice. I like the guy that they got to play Dark Helmet, the the guy from Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah, I like him, and whenever he's in a film, I enjoy it.
Well, you will enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's kind of tragic. It's a little bit sad as to why he stopped acting, but also completely understandable.
Yeah.
His wife died.
Oh, that is
so he quit acting and directing and stuff like that in order to take care of his kids.
Oh.
Which is a perfectly valid fucking response, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever going to come back to acting, because bear in mind this is. Oh, he is back acting. There you go.
Oh, sweet. There you go. Yeah, he was fucking huge back in the 80s, wasn't he? You could barely turn on you could barely go to a film in the 80s without seeing him in there somewhere. He was in God, the amount of films he played like a little cameo in as well. Was it one of the Home Alone films he played? He played a homeless person in it.
I haven't seen the Home Alone film since I was a kid.
Was it Home Alone or not? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, he's just in like he was in almost. He was the Samuel L. Jackson of the 80s. In every single film ever made.
I still love the fact that Samuel L. Jackson managed to persuade George Lucas to give him a purple lightsaber.
Yeah. They had to invent like a whole law for the purple lightsaber and everything.
Well, considering that he changed the law with every fucking film, like, it's not much of a stretch.
Well, yeah, and every release of the same film.
Yeah.
Every time he remasters it, it changes. Oh, who shot first? Who shot first? Come on, he was a scoundrel. Of course he shot first. That's his whole character. That's the whole point of his character. Right, there we go. I have oiled this Fire Warrior to within an inch of his life. As usual. Very common behaviour.
I was going to make a comment about how, we're Britain, we use metric, and then I'm like, no, we don't. We use both in some form of some weird, fucking silly way. Oh, excuse me.
I mean, if you want like imperial and metric like combinations that don't make sense, America's the fucking daddy of that shit. Right.
I thought America's saying, but Imperial is what got NASA to the moon. No, it didn't. Metric.
Okay,
They use metric.
We have a very oily boy. He is an oily boy. Oh, he really is an oily boy. You can't actually see him very much. The lighting needs... Oh, there you go. It just sorted itself out, but there you go. He's a moist boy.
Pretty much. I also think I know why Amazon has additional Amazon Video has additional subscriptions through it.
Okay.
I just remembered. So, like, Paramount, I think Paramount Plus and MGM Plus and things like that aren't available in the UK.
Okay.
Like, if you go to their website, you can't. Then there isn't like a UK system, but you can subscribe to them through Amazon Prime.
Oh, it's the shit that there's a couple of shows that I wanted to watch that were only available on, I think, a service called Peacock, and I think that'd be the same. I think which shows was it? I think it was Bob's Burgers. No, Bob's Burgers is on Amazon Prime. I think it was King of the Hill. It was definitely one cartoon that I remember watching as a kid that they've brought back. I think it was King of the Hill. There was a couple of series I said I wanted to watch. I think it was Law and Order, oddly. I wanted to watch Law and Order Special Victims Unit from the very beginning because they had them on Netflix for a while. I don't have Netflix anymore. and for some reason they had like series 5, 6, and 8. They missed a season in the middle. So I watched it, and like halfway through, I remember going, "What the fuck? Who's this guy?" So obviously, it did a time skip. King of the Hill is coming back. Yeah, well, it is back apparently. Apparently, the first season that they did after the comeback is already out. So, yeah. Right, what am I doing right now? Right now, he is drying, so I should probably get on with the other guys. Yes. I may go and make myself a cup of tea. And get the other light on in here, see if I can get the lighting a little bit better. So I'm going to turn my camera off and leave you with Cornish Cam, and I'll be right back.
That was the most projected exclamation about a man's own ass I've ever heard.